hidden alien planet that's been talked about for thousands of years. Modern scientists and NASA call it Planet X. The ancient Sumerians called it Nibiru. And according to historian Zechariah Sitchin and ancient texts carved in stone, it's very real. This mysterious planet is said to be 3 times the size of
Earth.
Earth.
Triple goddess, examining which one of the goddesses feels most present for you currently. And then our second card is going to be Archangel Raphaela. Nibiru has not been discovered by Earth mainstream science. It is under the control of the negative agenda, and it functions on reverse orbit and reverse Merkaba alignment. Counteract the NDC's ability to mutate DNA by reversing the planetary Merkaba, altering the spin rates and reversing the DNA codes in Earth's grid system. This generates the checkboard mutation, which reverses the fire letter sequence and creates junk DNA. There is a programmed crystal that is many stories tall and has been inserted deep into the Earth's crust. 11th dimensional Stargate in Wishshire, UK at the Stonehenge. There's an 11th dimensional Stargate in Ireland's Eye of the Irish Sea. Inner Merkaba spin to run reversals, which resulted in gender reversals and extensive DNA mutations in the original human body blueprint. The pain upon the planet was immense, as the deepest trauma of suffering is when a being is fully disconnected from the soul, source of creation. Our planetary logos was invaded with multiple mutations of alien mind control programming, while siphoning our life force to other planets that serve negative agendas. One of the largest lies promoted to divide our race is the war over false gods. The false archetypal story of a crucified Christ figure is a mockery to further enslave humans into believing into a salvation model through a crucified Christ. It represents the tortured human being, as we are all Christ DNA on Earth. Enslave humanity and Earth for selfish agendas. Cultivate genetic hybrids with their preferred race lines.
Slaves from another alien race, the Igigi. After years of forced labor and humiliation, the Igigi rebelled against the Anunnaki, giving rise to the first war on Earth.
Anunnaki, Marduk or Amun-Ra, was reputed to embody the capabilities and technologies of all Anunnaki beings of all worlds. His legendary triumph over the formidable Dragon Queen and Sovereign Tiamat, and her legion during an Anunnaki intervention on Earth,
Kune si matukuna ini shinekuna ini yamakuta ine umatayata ine sukuna I natu nate maya shukunuata ini sinekuta niya nakuta. You may take a breath deeply through your body. Allow that breath to travel all the way through your body. Feeling the oxygen, feeling the spirit, feeling the breath. Open your pores, open your cells, open your heart. Breathing with the love of spirit. I thank you all for joining me today on this episode of Grand Rising with ChristoLight. We are going to be exploring our ancient history of the planet Venus. The planet Venus has a very profound history. A lot of the history has been tucked away out of the mainstream, but we are going to be uncovering what has been tucked away about planet Venus when it comes to the mainstream. Venus used to be inhabited by many different beings, same with Mars as well. And we also had another planet that was a part of our solar system as well, called Meldick, throughout the history of our solar system. Some things happen in history involving negative forces, then that caused destruction and other negative experiences to take place between Venus, Mars, and Meldick. And then what took place caused a reversal in our heart chakra, which is Venus, as well as also created the asteroid belt that we see today in our solar system. So we're going to be deep diving and exploring what this all means and what kind of ancient history Venus has in our solar system in relationship to humanity and our lives here on Earth. So with that being said, let's go ahead and kick off with a beautiful, beautiful heart chakra opening. I'm going to play us a heart chakra singing bowl. I'm going to channel a little bit of Venus energy, divine goddess of love, just to help us open our hearts a little bit, feel the unconditional love, the connectivity, and the sacredness of being able to be present, be alive, and exchange energy today. So I thank you all for joining me. I thank you all for being here. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful that we get to be alive. We get to be humans again for another day. And we get to make change on this planet. We take that for granted sometimes. But sometimes we need to slow down and really be present with how beautiful it is to be alive. We woke up today. We are here on this live. We have free will. How beautiful is that? So that being said, you guys get comfortable, enjoy this episode. Please feel free to comment throughout this episode. Share your expressions, share your questions. If you guys have any questions about your health, your diet, overcoming trauma, shadow work, or you need guidance and support, please put it in the comments throughout these episodes. These spaces are made to be a sacred community space. I am a shamanic guide. I'm a practitioner of 10 plus years, and I've helped many move through their shadows, move through their traumas and inner child patterns. So I just wanted to open that up and let you guys know this is a space for you to be vulnerable. It is a space for you to ask questions, and it's a space for you to grow with all of us as one in this community. So let's go ahead and get into it. We're going to go ahead and do our heart opening self-scan to kick off today. We got the heart chakra singing bowl. And then we will be diving into our topic of today, which is going to be Venus and its ancient history. We have the heart chakra singing bowl. You guys go ahead and get yourself comfortable and sit, lay down. If you're in motion, that's okay as well. Just realize that you're receiving frequency. Relax your shoulders, relax your jaw, relax your fingers and toes. And we'll be back in 44 seconds as you get ready. And we will begin. As we begin, you may close your eyes and begin to focus on the breath, breathing in through the nose, drawing the breath down into your heart center, in the center of your chest, and exhaling and breathing it out through your heart center. Breathing in through the nose, drawing it through the heart center and breathing out. Let's continue to focus on this breath, breathing into our heart center. Breathing in that lovely healing breath to your heart center. Breathing through the grudges that we are holding on to. Breathing as we let go of attachments, of codependency. Receiving love, clearing blockages, remembering that we are divine and we are one with unconditional love, always. Letting go of the baggage, letting go of the past, letting go of fear of the future. We make it through every time. Every time we have fear or uncertainty, we make it through again. Choosing love, choosing the eternal spirit, remembering that we are the observer. We are the free will. Letting go of the anger, letting go of resentment. It's all okay. We are here now. We are loved. And we are giving love. Let's start from this moment today as a fresh start as who we are in this life. Join me. May you. And being in a fresh start today as we are eternal in the now moment and we have let go of the past and we have let go of the future. As we are present in this live as a channel of sacredness, a divine network for spirit, and we are receiving exactly what we need to in this perfect moment. Final deep breath in. and release. That is the heart chakra. Quartz singing bowl for you guys. You guys can get your own set, of course, in many different places, online and locally. I was gifted by my lovely queen this chakra singing bowl set because she is such a beautiful and supportive queen, I gotta say. All right. How are we feeling after that? Feel free to share how you feel, how that nice opening session was for you. And it's now time to journey and explore our topic for today.
I bet you didn't know Venus was once Earth's twin. You need to see how it became our solar system's wildest cautionary tale. Let's dive into Venus's galactic history. Billions of years ago, Venus might have looked a lot like Earth. Oceans, blue skies, maybe even the building blocks for life. But then, something changed. Volcanic eruptions went wild, filling the air with carbon dioxide. The planet heated up. Think runaway greenhouse effect. Those oceans? They boiled away. While Earth thrived, Venus turned hellish. Surface temps soared hot enough to melt lead. Clouds thick with sulfuric acid made sure nothing could survive. Some scientists even think Venus got slammed by ancient asteroids, reshaping its landscape and atmosphere again and again. Today we see Venus as a warning, proof. Even a planet so like ours can take a dark turn. But its story isn't over. New missions are on the way, ready to uncover more of Venus's wild secrets. So, what will we discover next? Hit subscribe to join the journey through cosmic history.
Alrighty. Welcome in everybody that's just joining us. We are diving in here on Grand Rising with ChristoLight into our exploration of more of our galactic history, as well as different star nations and what they represent on the multidimensional levels of our universal time matrix. Yesterday, we explored our last star nation, and that was Nibiru with the Anunnaki. Today, we are exploring Venus with the Venusians. So the Venusian mysteries, awakening the sacred feminine. Venus is a planet, but also a celestial deity, and our gifts for humanity lie in helping us come into cosmic balance with the sacred feminine qualities of beauty, love, relationships, sensuality, and pleasure. Venus is a planet of beauty, symbolically and literally. Her presence shines brightest from our vantage upon the Earth, and her trajectory creates a magnificent, symmetrical pattern. The only planet named for a female deity, Venus is a loving and bright ally in restoring the sacred feminine to cosmic balance. Restoring the feminine to cosmic balance with beauty and astrology. Anyone who's gazed at Venus in her bright morning star phase can understand why the ancients associated this planet with beauty. I wonder if they also knew her trajectory through our skies is the most symmetrical of all the planets. Over an 8-year period, Venus makes 13 orbits around the Sun and has 5 conjunctions with the Earth. Visually, this creates a beautiful mandala based on the golden ratio, a pentagon of petals, which you can see in the image below. If you guys want to check that out for a moment, I'll let you connect with that. Powerful rising, Katrina. How are you this rising? Welcome in. Thank you for exploring Venus with us today. You know, Venus has a very interesting history, especially with Mars. And oftentimes, you know, we think of these planets just as like 3D circles or 3D spheres. But there's things going on in the micro level within these planets, just like on Earth. All right, so we'll go ahead and continue. The 13 orbits that bring Venus back to her place of origin in our skies tie this planet to the feminine. 13 has long been associated with women because of how we cycle and bleed with 13 moons of the year. Even the symbol for the planet Venus is the same as that which commonly represents the feminine, a circle sitting upon a cross. If we see the circle as the infinite cycle in wholeness, and the cross is representing the 4 elements in 4 directions, that makes our material reality. We can see the symbol as also calling forth the intersection of spirit and earth. And that is the symbol right there that they are speaking on. And yes, 13. When you think about 13, you know, you think about Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th has been hijacked. And it's been hijacked and perverted to take away the empowerment and the activation codes of our divine feminine connection. And this is about men and women. This is about the whole, the feminine attributes, the feminine codes and energies. So you think about that, you know, Friday the 13th. They hijack it, mutate what it means, and tell us that it's evil, bad luck. But then you think about the origin and what it originally meant, Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th was a day of fertility. It was a day of honoring the feminine. My favorite number is 13. My birthday is 2/13. That is awesome. Glad you're finding some heart-opening connections in this episode already. Maybe you have a connection to Venus energy. Check out your chart. Is Venus in your chart in any certain areas? Yeah, typically anything that they tell us in society is bad luck is usually actually good fortune. To be honest, you know, they say like black cats are bad luck, Friday the 13th is bad luck, all these things. Black cats have a very ancient, protective, psychic, and intuitive energy. Katrina, if you want to look up your chart here on the live, we can look up your chart. I know a website we can go on to, but you just have to have your birth date and your birth time and the location. And if you have that and you're wanting and you're willing to display it publicly, we could look it up here on this live. And that's for anybody else as well. If you guys want your birth chart to be looked up. And I can also invite you guys to come on. I can invite guests to join, and any of you guys can join in. That's something I'm going to start opening up. I'm going to start opening up guest space for you guys to be able to hop on and join me. So you can join the conversations, reflect, network yourselves, and all that good stuff. All right, so we're going to continue. In astrology, Venus rules both Taurus and its home, the second house, along with Libra and its home, the 7th house. Together, these elements celebrate the many qualities of Venus and earthy sensuality of Taurus, the values and emotions and sexiness of the 2nd house, the high culture and beauty of Libra, and the love and partnership of the 7th house. Here, not only are the sacred qualities of the feminine celebrated, but they once again symbolize the harmonization of earth and spirit. Anytime we're able to ground into the beauty of nature in the present moment, we experience Venusian blessings. So I'll read that last sentence again. Anytime we're able to ground into the beauty of nature and the present moment, we experience Venusian blessings. The Venusian deities. Though Venus is represented through a few male deities in different cultures, the vast majority of Venusian deities are female, especially within the cultures that have most influenced my own Western heritage. The Greek goddess Aphrodite is perhaps the most well-known Venusian deity for many of us, as she even carries the name Venus to the Romans. Yet, if we trace the evolution of Aphrodite through time, we find that she may well have been born from earlier goddesses, Isis or Aset in Egypt, Inanna, also known as Ishtar, in Sumeria. All three goddesses carry the mantle of being Venusian goddesses of the ancient world. In the Norse world, we see both Freya and Frigg associated with Venus. Both goddesses embody qualities of love, romance, fertility, and sacred sensuality. Though Freya is more independent in her expression and Frigg is the wife of Odin, is more matrimonial. Interestingly, Friday is named for Fig, or Frigg. And guess which planet rules Friday? Venus. Sex and resurrection. From what we know of Mary Magdalene, it's likely she was not only a consort of Jesus or Yeshua, but also a priestess in her own right. At the time, the art of sacred sexuality was practiced in the temples for communion and healing, and sex in this sacred sense is a Venusian as it gets. The sensuality, the romance, the harmony between masculine and feminine, and the fertile outcomes, once again, bringing spirit into material form. And while we're looking at sacred sensuality in this Venusian context, it's interesting to note the parallels between Isis bringing Osiris back to life and immediately consummating him with him, and Mary Magdalene being the first to witness the resurrection of Yeshua. I wonder if the way in which she anointed him before death, loved him beyond life, and cried tears of power into the earth, contributed to the magic that brought him back to life, like Osiris. It seems the Venusian power so naturally held by women, the power of commune with spirit, enjoy sensual pursuits, and bring life into being through force of love, was a bit too threatening for the church. These tales of resurrection are also reflected in Venus's orbit, as the planet cycles towards and away from the sun, symbolizing a natural cycle of birth and death. The tale of Venusian goddesses Inanna offers us a good reflection of how women can embody the cycle within themselves. Unlike the goddesses who resurrect their lovers to bring fertility to themselves and the land, Inanna is the one resurrected in her tale, modeling the feminine drive to face our shadows and integrate into wholeness. The Venusian masculine. Back to the male Venusian deities. By far the most well-known masculine Venusian deity in modern days is Quetzalcoatl. Wow. Quetzalcoatl, a Mesoamerican god. Quetzalcoatl, known as the feathered serpent deity, who brought fertile growth to the land. Again, we see the liminal meeting of spirit and earth and bird and snake, as well as sacred sexuality and fertility in many ways. Quetzalcoatl offers us a model for how those in men's bodies can embody the much needed gifts of Venusian blessings, reminding us that we all have sacred masculine and feminine qualities within. I think about that, Quetzalcoatl, the Mesoamerican culture. You think about the way they do medicine journeys and the way they do heart opening ceremonies like cacao, San Pedro, ayahuasca, these other sacred medicines that open the heart and cleanse us and purify us. I wonder if those medicines are connected to Venusian energies. It's kind of interesting. Venus in second house in Aries. Oh, okay. I'm not too familiar with the second house. Quetzalcoatl is connected to Venus, yes, the Venusian energy. Quetzalcoatl represents the masculine force of the Venusian energy. It's time to allow Venus to upgrade our hearts. As a planet that reminds us of the power of love, Venus cannot be more important for us to connect with right now. I am, like I'm sure many of you are, an empath. Being an empath is not only a gift, but is also the natural state of all humans, the state we are born into before culture and trauma cuts our hearts away from our innate ways of knowing. But being a really strong empath during times of mass hysteria, conflict, and trauma can be rough, even with the knowledge and skills to navigate these times. I find the vitriol, judgment, especially righteousness I see online and in social media, pressure cookers, to be acutely painful. Just about all news from left to right and mainstream to alternative has become a web of incarnate propaganda. When I turn to certain locations, I can energetically sense oppressive webs of fear hijacking people's sovereignty. Venus is a powerful ally in coming back into our hearts and allowing the wisdom of love to lead the way. Right now, Venus is in her heliacal rays towards the sun, allowing her divine beauty to be strengthened with solar blessings. Now it's time to let the light of Venus and the sun illuminate and strengthen the love within all of us. Ooh, that was beautiful. Okay. So we're going to continue. We're going to talk a little bit about Venusian starseed traits and what to look for if you're potentially, or if you know others that could potentially be. All right. Boom, boom, boom. So Venusian starseeds, they are associated with love, beauty, art, and divine feminine. They are thought to have been home to a highly evolved civilization, one that prioritizes emotional connection, intuitive understanding, and unity consciousness. On Earth, they often carry the essence of these qualities. They're typically gentle, sensitive, and deeply connected to love. Not just romantic love, but universal compassion, self-love, and healing through emotional presence. The purpose of the Venusian starseed is centered around love and emotional healing. Their role is to uplift the vibration of Earth by reminding others of the power of kindness, connection, and beauty in all forms. You may feel driven to help others open their heart, heal from trauma, and embrace more meaningful relationships. Some might take on healing roles like therapists or doctors, listeners, creators, or friends who help others feel seen and valued. So Venusian star seeds tend to share these common qualities. They often feel others' emotions strongly, sometimes as if emotions were their own, creativity and a love of beauty. Many are artists, musicians, writers, simply drawn to things that inspire awe or pleasure. They may crave meaningful soul-level bonds rather than surface relationships. Conflict feels overwhelming and unnecessary to them, and they'll usually try to resolve tension gently. Their emotional sensitivity is not a weakness, it's a quiet strength. They speak with kindness and avoid harsh language or criticism. Then they're often drawn to ideas about soul growth, reincarnation, or divine love. The Venusian star system. The Venusian star system refers in spiritual terms to the energetic dimension connected with the planet Venus. In this belief system, Venus was once home to advanced beings who lived in harmony with each other and the universe. These beings are thought to have evolved beyond the need for physical conflict or hierarchical power, living instead through emotional resonance, telepathic connection, and shared compassion. Venusian starseeds are seen as spiritual descendants of these beings, carrying their frequency and soul memory into this lifetime. Whether this is viewed symbolically or literally, the essence of this belief is one of love-led living. Venusian symbols and their meanings. Venusian starseeds are often drawn to certain symbols. They appear in dreams, artwork, and intuitive connections. One of those symbols is the heart and rose. So anytime you see the heart and rose together, it represents love, gentleness, and beauty. The planet Venus symbol, symbolizing divine feminine energy and emotional wisdom. Doves, the bird dove, symbolizing peace and grace. And then pink and soft green hues, which are associated with the heart chakra and the higher heart chakra. And these are also Venusian frequencies. Okay. So that will do it for the reading and study part of the Venusian starseeds and Venus. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to take a moment to let us kind of reset. And in this reset, I'm going to go ahead and pull a collective card for us and see what kind of message the Oracle has for us. And we're going to be using the Beyond Lemuria Oracle deck today. And yes, you're welcome, Katrina. I am grateful to share this knowledge. That's what the back of the cards look like. Pretty cool. The power of love. Go ahead and put in the comments if you feel called. What is one thing that you love right now in this moment? What is one thing that you love? Okay. Our card for today in this collective reading is going to be number 55, Unique Gifts. Unique gifts. Got some light language on there. All right, let's see what the book has to say for us today. So we have number 55, your superpowers, a sense of purpose, the meaning behind your quirks, exploring your interests, shortcomings as unique, undiscovered skills. The divinatory meaning is what makes you unique. Any quirks that you feel are shortcomings could be the key to your superpowers. Look for the positive sides of your oddities and traits. How would you like to spend more time? Are there things you would like to try or feel a pull to explore? Now is the time to follow these whispers. You never know how transformative they may be. Very nice. Here's something interesting I'm going to read out of this as well. Some of us have already discovered or remembered what we feel we are here to do. Others are still seeking or just starting to consider this idea. Your inspiration may come as a message, in a vision or dream. It may be something others have recognized in you for a long time. It may come from a deep resonance with something you are yet to try. You may be concerned it will affect or transform your current lifestyle. Your gift or purpose may be something you enjoyed immensely as a child but did not bring into your adult life. Perhaps there is an array of shoulds holding you from what you love doing. When there's enjoyment in what you do, you can give more to it, way beyond your usual capacity. It lights you up when you think or talk about it, and you need less in your life as you are fulfilled through doing it. When you don't do it, you might feel ungrounded or low in energy. If you haven't connected with your purpose, look at your quirks and what they are telling you. You may struggle with some things because your mind works differently in these areas. Things you may have considered shortcomings might be the qualities that enable your gifts. Ooh, I love that message. Your shortcomings may be what sets you up to activate or become aware of your gifts. That's the ultimate power right there. Is when you're able to take your shortcomings, your flaws, your mistakes, your lessons, and integrate those into yourself, mind, body, emotions, mature about it, become more self-disciplined, create boundaries in the ways necessary, take action and make change in the ways necessary. you will continuously evolve and grow with spirit as long as you keep in motion. As they say, stagnation is devil energy. As long as we are just trying, putting the next foot forward, even if we have to have tears and snot coming out of our face, we're still trying and we're still growing and we're still setting the intention to grow and change. It's going to be so seen and so heard by the universe. And we will always be supported. We will always be supported by unconditional love, which is why Venus is here, and which is why we're being reminded of our connection to Venus today. And Venus is also correlated to our heart chakra as a human being. The heart chakra of unconditional love, empathy, compassion, forgiveness, the balance of our emotions, the bridge between earth and heaven, or animal and divine. So our card for today, number 55, unique gifts. Your gifts are calling. Your gifts are calling. For some of us, our gifts is going to be our way out of working a 9 to 5. For some of us going into more service of our passions, our creativities, our art, that is going to be the pathway to ascend beyond continuing to work a 9 to 5 or a corporate lifestyle. So just think about that. If you're in that position, that is something that you want and you intend, is to have an independent career path. Think about how you could put a little bit more time, a little bit more direction, and how you can use your skills and your passions in ways that can help others, and they can also receive and be a part of it. Once again, unique gifts is our card for today. We all have gifts. We all have skills. And we all have a beautiful mind, body, emotions to share for the collective. All right. So again, that was from the Beyond Lemuria Oracle deck. Thank you guys for receiving and being a part of that space. And with that, we're going to go ahead and now dive into our videos for today, educating and going deeper into Venus and the Venusians. Thank you, Katrina. Appreciate you. And Katrina, if you would, feel free to reach out to me today. I'd love to talk to you about some of my retreats I have coming up. I've been talking to Jesse of Sacred Phoenix, and would just love to catch up with you as well. All right, let's get into our videos. Let's get it.
I do work with a few clients that have incarnations or came from Venus. For the most part, they tend to be Syrian in origin. So I think a long, long time ago, there's a group called the Hathors that seeded Venus. So they brought in this divine feminine energy to the Venus planet because they wanted to have an anchor for divine femininity on our solar system. Planet Earth was more meant to be kind of like a blend of masculine and feminine energies, and Mars is very masculine. Mars and Maldek, which is I'm going to bring up also. But Venus had an interesting history because their planet used to be quite inhabitable.
Yes.
And then it was kind of similar to Earth. And then I don't know if their orbit shifted or what happened, but there was a natural disaster that happened with Venus and I saw this in the Akashic records. Well, what I saw in the records is that somehow their orbit shifted, I think after things that happened within the rest of the solar system, and then the planet was no longer inhabitable. So a lot of Venusians had to migrate to the Proxima Centauri system. So that would be Alpha and Beta Centauri.
Venetians' mission on Earth is to offer compassion and divine love on Earth, also known as the Hathors. Venetians are associated with the ancient Egyptian cow goddess Hathor, and Hathor symbolizes love, motherhood, and fertility, and it is believed that a Venetian's primary purpose on Earth is to teach humans unconditional love, self-awareness, and mastery in all aspects of life. It is also believed that the Hathor sent Venetians to Earth to teach love and compassion, and these starseeds are very nurturing, intergalactic, and interdimensional, just beings who embody unconditional love. As well as spreading light and love, Venetians are also able to help others discover their purpose by supporting them and seeing their true potential and power, and by doing that, these starseeds are helping change the world for the better. And the origin of a Venetian starseed is, of course, planet Venus, within the fourth dimension. Every Venetian starseed that comes to Earth will follow its own unique set of talents, with some being successful in awakening people, while others may just come up with creative solutions or become healers. And whatever a Venetian chooses to do, all are just as important as the other, and they're all contributing towards the same results, and that's spreading love and light and raising the consciousness of this beautiful planet. Let's take a look at the signs of the Venetian starseed. You have a great interest in learning about ancient civilizations on Earth and outer space. You're a nurturing and compassionate soul and have an unconditional amount of love stored within you. You take pleasure in watching your loved ones succeed and be happy. You're incredibly sensual and passionate. You have a wild fascination for metaphysics and New Age spirituality. There are some signs to see if you are a Venetian starseed. You have a great interest in learning about ancient civilizations on Earth and outer space. You are a nurturing and compassionate soul and have an unconditional amount of love stored within you. You take pleasure in watching your loved ones succeed and be happy. You're also incredibly sensual and passionate. And you have a wild fascination for metaphysics and New Age spirituality. You also avoid taking risks and can be described as flighty. And you're a highly spiritual being. You feel very connected to the universe, your higher self, and your guides. You have a really attractive aura, and people you meet and surround yourself with are always intrigued by your presence and often want to find out more about you. And you're a very creative soul. and you seek solutions to some of the biggest, most common problems that the earth is facing, and won't give up until you have that solution. And you tend to see the future with optimism. You feel drawn to the sky at night. You love astrology. And you're approachable and friendly. And you're a selfless individual who gains satisfaction by simply being of service to the larger community. Some of their challenges and mission is they trigger unhealed wounds in others. They attract narcissistic and manipulative people. They also struggle with self-criticism and conflict. And the mission is to usher in all forms of love and disrupt malicious nature. Whilst they come in all shapes and sizes, they tend to be a bit on the slender side or have a vaguely muscular tone. They're also known for their large expressive eyes and high cheekbones, and sometimes have typically pointed noses.
How are you guys liking this knowledge so far from these videos? Pretty interesting. I gotta say, I was kind of familiar with a lot of this stuff. I had learned about Paul the Venetian, who is an ascended master from Venus, who represents the third pink ray. And then I've also, known about just like the Divine Mother, Divine Goddess energies. Aphrodite makes sense big time with Venus. But what was pretty new to me was the Hathor connection. So I didn't know about Hathor being connected to Venus as well. And that is pretty fascinating. I love studying Egyptian mythology and really connecting with Isis, Hathor, Sekhmet, and the other different aspects of that nature. So we're going to go ahead and continue. After this next video, we will then have a final video, and the final video will be a Venusian channeled light language activation. And it'll be just 4 minutes long, but I'll be playing that after this video that I'm about to play right now. So guys, stay tuned and then enjoy the frequencies, and you'll be able to receive a Venusian light language activation at the end of this episode.
Dresden, Germany. In the archives of the Saxon State Library lies an ancient manuscript known as the Dresden Codex. Dated to around the 11th century AD, the Dresden Codex is the oldest and best preserved writing of the Maya, a civilization which ruled Mesoamerica for more than 3,000 years. And curiously, the pages of this text contain a remarkable connection to the planet Venus.
The Maya worshipped Venus, and it appears that they put Venus as the cornerstone of their faith and also their civilization. And when scientists looked at the Dresden Codex, they found what we now call the Venus table, which is able to predict the position of Venus to very high accuracy. In fact, they kept some of the most accurate records in all of human history before the advent of modern astronomy.
The observations of Venus by the Mayans shows that actually Venus has been incredibly important throughout human history. And the tracking of Venus's motion has been something that people have paid attention to for a long time.
It's astonishing to think that ancient people were just as fascinated by the movement of Venus as modern astronomers. But technology has made tracking the planet much easier and revealed some curious aspects of Venus's motion. In 1962, at NASA's Deep Space Instrumentation Facility located in the Mojave Desert, experts discovered something about the rotation of Venus that no one had ever noticed before. it actually spins backwards.
Most of the planets in the solar system are spinning in the same direction, but Venus is spinning in the opposite direction. It's spinning backwards compared to Earth's spin axis.
Venus spins in retrograde. You can think of that as Venus spinning backwards, or you can think of that as Venus having been flipped upside down. But however you think about it, what it means is that Venus's spin is a big mystery.
Is Venus flipped upside down? It's an extraordinary notion. And it makes you wonder what it would be like to live on a planet that spins backwards.
For everything Venus has in common with the Earth, from its size and its mass, it has some things that are really different from the Earth also. If you were on Venus, or if Earth was doing what Venus did, the sun would actually rise in the west and set in the east. So it would generally be a bizarre experience.
Curiously, Venus's backward spin isn't the strangest aspect of its movement. Because not only is Venus turning in the opposite direction, it also spins so slowly that it's hardly rotating at all.
Venus spins incredibly slowly compared to Earth. We know that Earth takes 24 hours to spin once on its axis. In comparison, if you were living on the surface of Venus, it would take 243 days to spin once around on Venus.
Venus rotates once every 243 days, but it takes 225 days to orbit the Sun, which means it takes longer to rotate than it does to orbit the Sun. Its day is longer than its year. That makes it different to almost everything else that we observe within the solar system.
Scientists are still trying to learn more about Venus's unusual spin. And some have asked, what would happen if Earth rotated at such a slow pace? Experts theorize that the results would be nothing short of catastrophic.
If the Earth had a really slow spin, we would have sections of the population that would have to live entirely in darkness for a large section of the year. The rest on the lit side of the planet would be scorched mercilessly.
Having one side of the planet be so much hotter than the other would mean there are torrential winds that would be blown from the hot side and sucked onto the cold side. You'd have cyclones and massive storms at the transition zones. It would be a really unfriendly place.
All right. So there's some videos on Venus and the different aspects of, you know, what Venus is and represents when it comes to this universe that we are a part of. And if you feel like this resonates with you and that you feel called to being a Venusian starseed, feel free to reach out. I do offer one-on-one services of exploring your Akashic records and unveiling your starseed origin. That is a meditation space that I offer, and I channel and guide you through a meditation for your own introspective connection, clarity, and unraveling. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and close out this episode. And as we close out, I'm going to play a 4.5 minute video. And this 4.5 minute video is going to be a channeled Venusian light language activation. So you guys get yourself comfortable, get yourself energetically open, and open yourself up to receiving if you would like. You don't have to. And I'm going to play this Venus or Venusian channeled light language activation for you. So enjoy, and then we will be closing out. All right. So that will do it for today's episode, Grand Rising with ChristoLight. Thank you guys for joining me on this Thursday as we explored the ancient history of Venus and the Venusians of unconditional love and fertility. That being said, may we reflect upon any of this information and downloads today as we need. May we integrate, grow, and continue to open our hearts with the unconditional love of Venus as we continue to have this earth life together as humans. We are here, we are together, and we are in this for the long run. So may we embrace more of our heart center and balance our emotions as the bridge of heaven on earth. Thank you, Katrina, for being a part of this episode and sharing. Thank you, Queen, for joining, and everybody else that has been in this live. Thank you for all of you that are tuning into the replay. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to help support and to be able to be reminded of any other content that will be streaming. You guys can also reach out for one-on-one healing sessions, retreat signups, reishi coffee, as well as joining the Sacred Kingdom International community, or also supporting and browsing the Sacred Kingdom community and seeing what practitioners of service we have, as well as a crystal shop that we have available. You guys can scan this QR code up here in the corner, and this QR code will take you to my link page. My link page is also down below in the ticker and in the description. And in the link page, you will find all my social medias, my one-on-one healing services, my retreat signups, my reishi coffee, as well as the catalog to the Sacred Kingdom community, where you can browse and book with practitioners around the world. Also purchase from Lunar Queen's Crystal Shop. Till next time, I will see you guys on Tuesday at 9 a.m. as we continue this journey. Wholeness and balanced love. Our founder claims, this right here is an embodied form of the violet ray spectrum. Tap in and tune in Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern, live on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Grand Rising with ChristoLight, your sacred space for discovering the Ascended Masters in crystal healing. Ashe.